Welcome to Blynd Submyshynz, where DIY bands submit songs for us to listen to and react to blind. Every week, we'll bring a guest from the underground music, arts, or entertainment scene to help you sort through mountains of new music. We go in blind so you don't have to. Blynd Submyshynz.
Blynd Submyshynz.
Hey everybody, welcome to this week's episode of Blynd Submyshynz. That was gross.
Trying to clear my throat.
I gave JD a good laugh with some visions of me doing yoga, which is like...
That's good. So you're doing your best Nick. You're channeling Nick, right?
Yeah.
Aww.
I was attempting to.
Yeah. He's actually, it's kind of funny because when he was on the show, he and Armed for Apocalypse were recording with Kurt at God City, and he was talking about how they wake up and do yoga every morning.
Yes.
And he was just kind of getting into yoga, and now he's like a full-time yoga
he's an instructor.
Like a university or something.
Wow.
Yeah, it's awesome. Good for him. Good for you, Nick.
Good for you. Look at all them hustles and side hustles and extra hustles.
Yoga is not usually a side hustle within this community, but fuck yeah, that's awesome.
I bet there are a few, especially
I'm
in
sure there are.
Doom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There's probably not a lot of like thrash metal yoga.
No. A thrash metal yogi.
That'd be rad. Speed metal yoga.
That would be awesome, actually.
We do 400 positions in 10 minutes.
I keep thinking like I have this crazy dream. Not dream, but I've thought about doing it so many times because I love spinning, and I know it sounds crazy and goofy, but like I love my Peloton.
Oh yeah.
And some of my favorite rides are the heavy metal rides, and they kick ass. But like they're always mainstream. It's always mainstream metal, which sometimes is good. But I would love to like start a YouTube channel where I just play like the metal that we play on our show and that we go to shows and that we listen to. That's like a spinning class for metalheads. I wonder if anybody would take that.
Oh man. Yeah, probably.
You're like probably not.
Probably. I don't know. I don't know the world of online spinning classes at all.
I don't even know if that's a thing. Who knows?
We're gonna be a little bit goofy this morning because we're like running short on sleep. And it was a late night last night. And
very late night.
I mean, not for any
good reason. Well, I mean, it was a great reason. Our kids came back from being away.
Yeah, we had to pick children up from a week-long trip to D.C. and Philadelphia and Baltimore. But their bus got into the school parking lot at like 12:30 a.m. So
which meant at 2 a.m. Woo! And it's early. It is early. But you know what? It's early because we have a great guest.
Oh yes, yeah. Let's hear it.
There's reasons why sometimes we have to record at 10 o'clock in the morning, and that's because our guest is 8 hours plus away from us.
Indeed.
And today's guest, I'm really excited, is Jessica Ball, who is in Mammoth Wizard Bastard. Also now known as MWWB.
MWWB.
She's also in another band called I, which is sort of like a mellow doom goth band that she started, I think, fairly recently.
Yeah, she sings.
Yeah,
I've seen her play
cello.
I've seen her with a big guitar, looked like a baritone, I'm guessing.
Yeah, exactly. And they just released The Harvest, which came out last month, I think on the 25th, on New Heavy Sounds Records, which is their fourth full-length album.
Yes.
And it's so good.
It's wicked.
It is crazy good.
We both have a copy. Did we show one off on?
I think we did.
Yeah, the last
But you
episode.
know what? Oh, I brought one just so I can show it off.
We'll do it now.
This is it right here.
Yeah.
Mammoth Wizard Bastard.
Get yourself
a Harvest.
Get yourself a copy.
That's super good. Look, it folds, and look at how scary those
are.
are.
I don't like
but
that.
This is a cool vinyl too. We got to show that vinyl.
Oh yeah. There you go.
Woo! Right. Nice. So should we we keep talking, or should we?
No,
bring
I
her
think
in?
we should bring her in. But first, let's hear a little something off the Harvest.
All right.
Hey.
Hello. Oh, look at you already connected to audio. We were just listening to a little bit of The Harvest. And showing off our record. You can show it off again.
Should I show it off again?
Oh, go on.
Yes,
look at this. I bet you love seeing that, right?
Like,
I love it.
Across an ocean and a continent and into some random house in California, huh?
Fantastic.
Isn't that crazy?
It never gets old. It never gets old.
It doesn't. No. Always
and it's
humbled
gotta feel
by
good
it.
to see that Bandcamp where it says albums sold out, other albums sold out.
Yeah, if you only do 20 copies, you always sell out.
Yeah.
So hey, we learned from a past guest who's a student of the algorithms. That's part of how you get leveled up in the Bandcamp like bestsellers is by having stuff sell out. So he'll list a bunch of items that are one only, and then
That's a bit of a hack.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, come on. What isn't
that?
We need to take little bands need to take every advantage we can because the machine is not in our favor.
No.
Yes.
That's
so
funny.
how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you so much for having me. It's
Definitely.
really nice to be on. Yeah, really tough to have the opportunity to talk about myself, and the band and everything. Yeah.
We'll get to know you and the band much better today.
So we both have been big fans for a long time, and I was gonna go and grab one of my old Mammoth Weed Wizard Bastard shirts. I have a couple in the closet. I think one was a David Paul Seymour. I have that one. I think, and at least one other.
Nice.
But it was really interesting and harrowing to follow your guys' journey through the pandemic and everything that went down, and then to culminate in this brilliant album, which I know you guys recorded before everything happened, but still, it was like such a triumph to come out of it. It's been
quite a journey indeed.
Yeah, so, I mean, we have sort of gotten over talking about the pandemic.
Yeah.
but in your case, I think, I don't want to make you relive the whole thing, but you guys definitely
No, it's fine.
An interesting ride, huh?
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, it's just been a roller coaster. It has been for everybody, obviously, but musically, with everything that's happened, I'm just really grateful how everything sort of turned out, and being able to finally release the album, which we put off for like a year because obviously at the time Paul wasn't well, so it was just my only sort of goal and wish was to be able to release the album that we'd recorded together when he was with it and with us, and we could share in it. So the fact that we were able to do that has just been the best.
That's fantastic. I assume you got it to the press before all of these crazy backups started, or did you get mixed up in having to wait a year for vinyl to be ready?
Yeah, I'm a bit not involved in that process.
Oh,
luckily.
Really? Okay. Good for
you. Blessed, but I've heard that it's just quite a long wait, isn't it?
It's a mess. Yeah, it's a big mess, and it's a mess that's affecting smaller bands disproportionately.
Yeah.
So I liked we'll talk about him later because he might come up at the merch table, but when Jack White said, look, all you big record labels, it's time for you to start building plants again and pressing your own records, because every time one of your big artists does 500,000 copies of a record, there's 1,000 little bands and small labels that
pay for it.
Yeah, that pay for it. Yeah,
sure.
So
it's coming back. It has been for a long time, and it's not sort of the demand is there, and they can't keep up with it, can they?
No, but like someone said, we're going to be finding Adele records in the dollar bin for 20 years, while all of us struggle to get a record made.
I love me some Adele, but do you need to press 1 million records?
No, it was only half.
Only 500,000 records. Yes.
like for comparison, a typical band that our little label does will press in a first pressing. We'll press maybe 300 to 500 copies. So think about all the 300 to 500 copy pressings that get put off when one artist presses 500,000 records, and there's one plant in the Czech Republic trying to do it all. So
yeah, exactly. Sure.
Exactly.
So where exactly are you located?
So at the moment, I live in a place called Cardiff, which is in South Wales in the UK.
Yes.
I was living in North Wales, which is a town called Wrexham, where Mammoth weed originated. But I moved down to South Wales. So Cardiff is the capital city of Wales. So I moved here just before like the pandemic kicked off. So, you know, it wasn't the best timing.
Oh,
I was
really?
like, oh, I'm gonna move to the big city, and you know, and then it's like, nope, you're not gonna do anything for years. But it's luckily, obviously, it's opened up now, so that's really nice. I really love it down here. Yeah.
Did everybody else ditch the big city like they did here?
Yes,
like moved out
absolutely.
Of the cities.
Exactly. Like North Wales, because there's a lot of, it's a bit more, not so much, quite rural in parts. So yeah, there was like an exodus to the to the mountains of North Wales.
It's like, I want room to move around and go outside. And
people start to value different things, didn't they?
Exactly. And you did the opposite.
There's like a little bit of grass down the road. Yeah. And once a day, I just walk around it like, you know, if you're in prison and you just like yard time, walking around this piece of grass like 10 times home.
Oh, that's funny.
Exactly.
So I'm looking at a map because I'm woefully uneducated about geography outside of North America. It's not a small city. Cardiff is 1 million people. It's about the same size as the city that we live in, San Jose.
Okay.
But then San Jose is surrounded by like 8 other cities that also have a million people. So the Bay Area is like 10 million people. It's big, but
wow,
you have a lot of green around you. I see the 1 million people in Cardiff, and then I see green.
Green. Yep.
Yeah,
exactly.
There's all the valleys just outside around Cardiff. Yeah, it's easy enough to get around Wales, really. Really small. I grew up in South Africa for most of my life, actually. I was born. Yeah, my accent is a bit.
It's not. I was going to say you don't look. I took a Celtic mythology class in college, so I learned all about reading and speaking Welsh, and you don't sound like the other people that I heard speaking.
The other people.
Is it perplexing to you? It is the most insane to me. It's like the craziest language on the planet. But
yeah, I mean, my boyfriend Steve, he's fluent Welsh. He works. He had like a Welsh academic press, which is, I think it's the only one in the world.
Oh wow!
It's so niche. It's such a niche. It's such a sort of small language. But down here, there's a lot more fluent Welsh speakers than there is in North Wales, actually. So
oh really?
I've actually been around it quite a lot. Yeah.
Oh wow.
But my accent now, the South African and the British accent have kind of turned into what sounds like an Australian accent.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Okay, I can hear the South. Now that you say it, I can hear the South African, especially when you say South African. Unfortunately, I think most of us learned about the South African accent from, what's that duo? We probably should even say their names, the rappers.
There's rapper duos.
The Antwoord.
Yeah, and then they turned out to be terrible people, it would seem.
Yes.
So,
they got
don't look it up. If you want to preserve their memory, don't look it up.
Yeah. So how long were you in? When did you leave South Africa?
So I was born in Wrexham, where Mammoth weed all started. It went full circle. My parents are British, and we relocated to South Africa when I was 5 years old. So we don't have many memories of the UK before that. And then I grew up there, and I came back to the UK in 2010. So all of my sort of developing life was in South Africa, but my family's here now in the UK, and it was really nice to sort of come back to see the town and the country that I knew about, but I had no idea sort of what this magical land Yeah, it was right.
You got to go back and see where you were from.
Yeah, that's like, I'm so glad I did, because it's like completely changed my life for the better. Really, yeah.
That's awesome. So at what point, like, how did you start to get into music? Were your parents musicians?
Yeah, so my dad is a pianist. I'll say it slowly.
Pianist.
Pianist.
Get that T on the end.
It's one of those things. So he's a musician, and he's he plays guitar too. He's still doing it now. He now lives in England, a place called the Wirral, where around near Liverpool it is.
Okay.
And he's still playing around just folk clubs and stuff.
That's great.
So I got it from him and started playing guitar when I was about 13, I think. Just always just loved music and finally picked an instrument up. The guitar is my main instrument. That's where it all began, really. Yeah, before singing or anything. I didn't sing for years.
Really?
Yeah, in fact, I couldn't even really sing. I wasn't like a natural sort of singer, or maybe I just didn't. Maybe I just found my voice eventually. You know.
Yeah.
Guitar is my number one passion. Yeah.
And then I saw you with the cello. How does that get started?
Yeah, so I have a cello.
You have a cello, yes.
So I'm by no means, I can play it as well as like knowing guitar and sort of notes and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm in, no way a sort of classically trained cellist or anything.
You wouldn't call yourself a cellist, yeah.
No. But I have a lot of fun miking it up and putting it through effects pedals, and you get some mad sounds out of it.
Yes. Yeah.
I love it. It's an amazing instrument.
Yeah, we're friends with Jackie from Graceon, who's obviously like an incredible cellist, and then also the two violin players from Subrosa. And I just love, I don't know, there's just something that happens. There's a crazy harmonics when you bow,
exactly.
you bow the strings, and then if you've got a bunch of pedals, they pick up those harmonics in weird ways.
Exactly. That's what I love about it.
Yeah. I hear all the textures in the music too. That's what I love, is it's like you can hear synth textures, guitar textures, and then whatever other random
whatever else is going on.
Maybe sounds like cello.
I don't think even I could tell you what is going on with some songs.
So do you write them like in a room together, like you're playing a song live, or do you build them in the studio kind of in layers, or is it a mix?
Yeah, so the process has always been Paul, who he's sort of like the main riff writer. So he sort of comes up with some ideas musically. Then we would go to the practice room. He would present the riff.
Here are my ideas.
And then build on it from there. And for me, because I've been in a few different positions in the band, we started as a 4-piece with me playing bass guitar. I love bass guitar too.
Yes.
I love bass. And I wasn't really planning on singing even, because we were just all in Wrexham. We were like, let's get together, just make some boom, no big dreams or anything, just make some noise. And then I started just doing some oohs and ahs over the top, and it went down really well. So then in the studio is when I would sort of put my vocals down properly, really, much to the frustration of the rest of the band. It's like, I look unprepared, but I knew I was in. I haven't let them down yet, so.
No, I would say you have not let.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I have this fantasy that I could sing, and I have done some backups and harmony vocals, but it still terrifies me, and I can't imagine singing and playing at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like you have to put hours in to get good at anything. You just have to put time in, and I just have too many other things that I would rather put time into than that.
That's
so.
fair.
It's like singing and playing guitar at the same time as the equivalent of just being a drummer.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I'd say that. It's like your brain, trying to split it up, trying to like make, trying to teach your brain to do different parts. It takes some time.
I have too many gadgets. I have sample, like I trigger samples mid song. I have a synth with a foot pedal controller. That's what if I'm gonna add more textures than just playing bass, I'll do that.
All at your feet.
And hands and feet. Hands everywhere. I have enough jobs. I don't need to sing too.
You can let out a few like, ooh, ah.
No, they also make me do all the talking. So
do-wop, do-wop, do-wop.
It's only a matter of time.
Although honestly, the current batch of songs we're working on are not far off of that in the most insane way.
Is it doom wop?
Kind of
doom wop.
Kind of. It's like it's definitely like a lot of like original R&B inspired and rock and roll inspired proto rock.
Nice.
Doom.
That's awesome.
With a little bit of Western thrown in.
So you grow up in South Africa. You move back to Wales, and at what point were you in other bands prior to Mammoth Weed?
Yeah, so just before I moved, before I moved to the UK, I actually studied contemporary jazz guitar for 3 years in like a sort of college. And honestly, it was like School of Rock. It was like the coolest. It was the best school ever. I was really lucky that I went there. Instead of just normal history, it'd be music history, and you do ear training and performance and all that.
Wow.
It was really nice. And then when I moved here, I've dabbled in probably every genre going. Okay, maybe not like country or maybe not drum and bass. Maybe there's a few things there, but like, generally pretty much everything. I started doing my own songs on acoustic guitar and singing when I moved here, and that's sort of how I branched out and met a lot of people, because when you move somewhere new, obviously you have to make the effort to go out and meet people, and music was just, it was just, I was so lucky to have that, because it just helped me meet so many people straight away.
You can find community anywhere if you're willing to go out to a club and see some music.
Yeah, exactly. And then I started a band called War Sisters initially. Nice. That is no official release. I think there's a video on YouTube called Temple. That was sort of my first dabble. You'll actually hear it. That was my first dabble in the vocals, like you hear on Mammoth Weed. Yeah. It was the first time I sort of found my voice, kind of thing, and I was playing bass in that. So that was kind of the first band I was in, and there was another band on the scene called Mother of Six, and that is the band that Paul, who's a guitarist in Mammoth Weed, and Carrot, we call him, the drummer of Mammoth Weed. That was their band. So they loved us, we loved them, so we'd gig together around Wrexham, and we're both like, we both liked each other's stuff so much, we were like, let's
just smash it
make
together.
Some music. Give it a ridiculous name and see what happens.
I mean, that's sort of what happens when there's a scene too, right? Is like often a bunch of bands form and like a scene gets hot, but the first generation bands aren't usually the ones that make it. It's the bands that like people see like, oh, I like them, and then you sort of filter out some of the people who maybe aren't super into it, and then new bands form, like a second layer of bands form, and those are the ones
like
that
incestuous in a way.
A little bit, yeah.
yeah, exactly.
But good. I mean, I remember those days too, where it's sort of like you start your first band with whoever's around. And you get the experience, and you play a little bit, and you go, well, I like him, and that's a good.
That guy
I would love to play with that guy.
So true.
Yeah.
Yeah, so true.
So
yeah, that's fun.
To back up a little bit, so we've gotten submissions and listened to music from all over the world.
Yeah.
I cannot remember a single submission from South Africa. Is there like is there a metal scene? Is there a doom scene in South Africa at all? Because
there definitely is. My personal journey with sort of doom music did happen whilst I was in the UK mostly.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really, because I was 20 when I moved here. I'm 31 now. Yeah, 20-ish. I'm bad at maths, but something like that.
Call it perfect.
It's 2022. I don't know. I've lost a year somewhere. But,
we all did.
Maybe 2.
Am I actually 31?
No, I say you can shave off 2.
Yeah. You can celebrate 30 twice. I did. No.
Yeah. But yeah, they've got all the scenes in South Africa, but it's very isolated.
Yeah.
Musically, and I also don't want to speak too much for it now because it has been a long time since I've been there. When I was there, it was kind of behind the times as far as sort of internet went. Not like we didn't have the internet, but like I skipped the whole MySpace, generation. Like I moved here with like the equivalent of like a 3310 Nokia phone. You know what I mean? I wasn't down with technology basically as far as the UK was at that time. Everyone's still swapping sort of CDs and stuff. I'm sure it's obviously advanced at this time, which I can't really speak for.
But that is interesting though. So like in 2010 still, because we were, like Stoner and Doom that we were reminded when we had Mike Scheid on, like sort of lived on the internet, as a lot of niche things do, in like the stonerrock.com forums, and in the late 90s even is when I started consuming this music over the internet. So I could see how you would just sort of miss it if you weren't online.
That's somebody might, one of your viewers might say, well, I was there and there was such a thing,
sure,
but my personal experience, I was very just sort of natural.
Okay, everyone who listens to this is very nice, and we never have anyone saying terrible or mean things. So don't worry. I'm being totally honest. We have like the most positive crowd of listeners.
South African contender.
Yeah, you did mention actually when the two bands sort of got together and did the thing that you came up with the most ridiculous band name ever.
We don't have to spend a long time.
I know you've explained this probably so many times, but like, is that what the thinking was? Let's just come up with the doomiest doom band name ever.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's actually been, if I had realized if I had known the success that we'd have now, there's no way we would have called it that. Do you know what I mean? Because you'd be like, oh, it's cool, it's really cool, or like sure, or like socially acceptable.
Yeah.
But at the time we had no views for trying to make it, or or trying to sort of sign to anyone. We were just doing it. We just wanted to make some noise. We were on an industrial estate outside of Wrexham, in like a whole unit, just in there, just like smashing drums, making loads of noise, and it was just like, what could we call it? I went to band practice once and they were like, Mammoth, Weed, Wizard, and then Karen just put bastard on the end. It's like, fine. And then I was like, and then we got signed. It was like, oh shit.
Uh-oh.
I always took it that way, and I always thought it was hilarious.
Yeah,
exactly. But
no, I appreciate that, because some people think we're being really serious.
Yeah.
Which I find, quite funny, really, because it's like, it's almost we're not taking the mick out of other bands. Obviously,
No.
Yeah, totally.
No, I mean, that what you just said totally rings true, which is like, you guys just were in it to make music, and the name was unimportant, so why not make it funny? And then
yeah, exactly.
Oh shit, other people are listening to us, and now I'm gonna have to explain this.
No, like my mum was like, yeah, my band's doing really well. You know, that music school you paid thousands for. So I finally made it. It's like, oh, what is it?
Well,
it's MWWB.
Yeah.
No.
She loves it though. She's got all the vinyls like hung up on the wall.
That's
and
amazing.
Stuff.
That's great.
#1 fans. Yeah.
Gotta have those supportive parents.
So you mentioned you studied jazz performance. Do you still play jazz? Are you still involved in?
Really. No. I mean, I think it was really helped me develop my understanding for music. It wasn't so much like, oh, I love jazz, I want to study jazz. The sort of the options for guitar in that school was like classical or contemporary music, which was sort of jazz guitar, which is like what we know as like contemporary music, you know, your modes and everything like that. And so it wasn't so much because I wanted to pursue jazz necessarily. It was just love, you know, the love of guitar and music.
I guess presented with those two options, I would probably choose jazz over classical too. But it is a very different set of training than I think most people in bands around you have. It's a different experience. Did you do a lot of work in improvisation in jazz?
Yes, we had an improv class, you know, and we go on. And but I'm actually not much of a soloer myself, you know, so I kind of used to dread it a little bit, you know. It's like if I could sit down and like, you know, I'm musically capable of writing something, anything, but I mean, I like to take my time, and I also didn't want my sort of training to, you know, I don't think it's hindered my sort of creative, you know, process, because sometimes, and it does happen if you sort of study music, you have, there's like a certain path that you kind of follow musically, and you can get a bit fixated on like what the right mode is and what the right, is it minor, major, you know, stuff like that.
I can't do that because it's against the rules.
But the music I was listening to, you know, at the time, you know, I just sort of followed the music I loved rather than trying to make it all fit. But it does help, I must admit.
It sounds really funny to me when you say I took a class in improvisation. Like, I got taught to improv. You're like, wait a second.
No, but you can't. I mean, you can learn things.
There's a right way to improv.
Well, and especially watching other people. I think what's interesting about it is like watching the choices that presented the same set of chord changes, watching the choices that different people make. Because the good thing about jazz is, while there are rules, they're very flexible. Like there's not very many times where you could actually like claim something's wrong. So it's just watching the choices people make to what to lay on top of what.
Just to make a point on what you said about, you know, nothing's wrong. Like, I feel like jazz, after all that time of sort of studying it, jazz was just like trying to find a reason why any odd note works. You know, it's like the challenge is just trying to play the most obscure wrong note that you can, and then finding like a theoretical reason as to why that fits into the chord. That's all it was, basically.
Yeah, it's sort of like the opposite of like Western classical music. It's
it's not trying to fit in. It's like trying to be as obscure as possible.
Yeah, trying to break it as much as possible and come up with a mathematical explanation.
Yeah, exactly.
Someday you and I will sit down with the circle of fifths and we'll look at some of the crazy notations that like Coltrane and others came up with, because it's like, oh, this really is all just math, isn't it? Like,
I'm sorry, but Circle of Fifths, is that a band?
No.
Okay. What is if you can't tell, Jeff's the musician, I'm the fan.
I love making. I love
a band.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a band called Circle of Fifths. But yeah, I love. We did a whole episode where I forced him to watch bizarre theory videos on YouTube. So he could go, really? This is what people spend their time doing? He learned all about polyrhythms.
I did.
Yeah, I was pretty proud of that.
It was pretty awesome. So you sort of grew up doing jazz, playing jazz guitar. Was there a band that you heard that was like, that's what I want to do? Like, that is what led you to doing Mammoth Weed?
Yeah, well, sort of like yes and no. So I really, many people might say this, but I really do have such a vast love for every kind of genre, and I actually find it quite hard to pinpoint what it is that I want to do sometimes, because so when I first started playing guitar when I was like 30, when I first picked it up, I loved Joni Mitchell, Bjork, so I was listening Neil Young, I was listening to all of that as I was growing up. I think Neil Young has been sort of one of the constant influences in my guitar playing style. So I sort of like, I went through the sort of, for someone of maybe in their 30s now, the typical early 2000s new metal stage.
It's okay. You can.
Korn,
it's fine.
Slipknot, Death Pose, all that. I'm not ashamed. It's fine. And then after that, I sort of went almost a bit sort of back to the sort of acoustic kind of side, which was like back to sort of Joni Mitchell. Then since moving here, I've had like two separate things where I've gone doom and electronic music. I love electronic music loads too.
Yeah.
So, that's what I'm saying. Even like trying to write now, it's like there's so many different kind of things. I think it's great though, because it's sort of like just a love for music and love for like new sounds and always trying to like figure out something new.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of that like kind of doom adjacent. Like we just listened to a submission from someone who's quite popular, we discovered, called Dark Her. Also from I don't remember where she's from. But Chelsea Wolfe, Marissa Nadler, Emma Ruth Rundle. There's this sort of like, they're not playing doom or even metal at all, but for some reason the community's like, we're kind of into this.
I love that.
So if you take that and then add a layer of electronic, like an Author and Punisher sort of a layer onto it, I'd be super excited to hear some like just dirty industrial electronic.
The more like electronic goth really fits well with doom.
Yeah,
it does. It's accepted into the community, like you say.
Yeah, exactly. When you say electronic music, what are you kind of speaking of?
Here's where I know
nothing.
There's
like so many different. It's just like metal, where it's like, but what genre? Like,
electronic. That's a genre, right?
Yeah.
Like Aphex Twin, Square Pusher, Grimes, really like Grimes.
Yeah.
Like genre-wise, like drum and bass.
Gotcha. Ronnie Size.
Yeah, exactly. Love it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I just love it. Just like there's a space, for everything, and I think that's a really healthy sort of outlook if you really love as a music lover, or maybe if you're on a musical sort of exploring it, it's good to be open to all those kinds of influences, because you'll always have sort of something to contribute to your style, because otherwise you will get stale and you can end up just imitating a sort of scene, or you can see something doing well and eventually it can become kind of like a bit stale.
Completely. Yeah, completely. Somebody was talking the other day, I think it was Mark from Zed, who was talking about just being burned out on whatever he was listening to.
Yeah, like
it's like I go through phases. It's like seasonal. Like in the winter and fall,
Totally.
I really love to listen to like Yob and Broom and like Doom. But then like as the sun starts to come out and like it
You're
warms
like,
up, I'm like, I just want to go listen to some DJ sets, you know? Like,
yeah. I mean, we both listen to a lot of different. JD's probably a bit more diverse than me, but we're not like just metal guys. I listen to a lot of everything.
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of funk and like old and new hip hop, and I'm a bit all over the place too.
Going to see Mogwai on Friday.
Yeah.
Can't wait for that.
Oh yeah, one of my favorite bands. Mogwai. That was on my list of what my favorite bands are.
Oh, nice. That's great.
Yeah, so
good.
We go from Mogwai on Friday to a festival in Sacramento on Saturday with a bunch of like hardcore and post-hardcore bands,
progressive tech metal
Brilliant.
and progressive and tech like Animals as leaders, but our buddies
math rock kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Are we gonna actually make it through that?
I don't know.
That's so much more. That's so much more public activity
it's a
than
lot of
we've
notes.
had.
Yeah.
Oh no, I can handle the notes.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
I don't know if I'm ready to go back to a festival, to be honest.
Is it your first festivals? Like since
first
like
event
pandemic.
of that size. We've been to some.
That size.
We've been to. Well, we saw Mastodon and Opeth and Zealand Ardor at the Fox, which is like 2,000 people. But this is an all-day event that's outside.
Yeah.
So
I think the last festival would have been Psycho in 2019.
That we went to last large festival. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Oh right.
Yeah. You guys haven't done Psycho.
Psycho Las Vegas at the. Yeah, we haven't. No, it was almost on the cards, but everything took a sharp decline.
So what's the? I have a vague memory of like you guys not playing a lot of live shows as sort of a band ethos. Are you guys now down to tour and play shows?
Yeah. So I mean. I think we got to the point where we'd done like a UK tour, we'd done a European tour. We drove to Poland and back, which is like that's far. That's a lot of countries, which is one of the best times of my life, but also very challenging in its own way.
Imagine.
But I think after that we were just being a bit more selective. Really,
Gotcha.
Nothing against, gigs anywhere for any like bands and stuff like that. I'm not saying anything was like too small or anything.
Yeah.
We just, everybody sort of had their own sort of schedules and everything, so we just became a bit more selective. Yeah.
And until you don't have to do anything else, until it supports you completely, it's really hard to strike a balance.
It is, exactly, and everybody's got their own schedules, they've got their own sort of jobs and everything, so it's always challenging, if it doesn't cover what you would lose if you're working or something, which we all know doesn't happen.
Well,
in
like,
reality.
I think a lot of people were probably shocked to hear Mike Scheidt say that they were still paying for tours on credit cards in like 2013 or 2014.
Wow, exactly.
This is Yob, who we all think of as being this wildly successful band. That wasn't even 10 years ago. That was, like 6 years ago. He's still pulling out his credit card.
It's definitely not going to be any better now, is it?
Yeah. Well, I think for them it has got. I think they're now at the point where that's not so much the case anymore. But I would have guessed that would have happened to them a long time ago. And people just have a misconception of what success is. Like, we know the guys in High on Fire. Like, I know where Matt and Jeff live, and they won a Grammy, but they're not living the life that I would imagine most people.
A Grammy winner,
that most people probably expect they're living, even at their level of success, even at Matt's level of success with two bands that are big.
Yeah,
it's still
mad, isn't
living
it?
in a bungalow in Portland.
Yeah, and probably
you almost you almost have to figure out what your idea of success is.
Yep, totally.
That's something that I've had to kind of, success is sort of like can be so many things, not just monetary. It's like we have to, and it really is. Music is a labor of love, you know.
Yep,
completely.
Absolutely.
I think when people realize that when they're doing what they love, that is success. I think when
that's
you come
exactly
to accept
it.
that, you're like, awesome. Like
It's
everything in life
exactly
gets easier that way.
It takes a lot of burdens away.
Yep.
You won't be frustrated about money and stuff like that from it, you know.
Yeah.
That said, Psycho 2023.
Yeah.
Crossing my fingers. There's a few bands. I mean, I know the international bands have been a struggle this year, and they ended up having to replace a bunch.
Yeah.
Same with the Desert Fest in New York City.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But man, if 2023 could bring Elephant Tree back to Psycho, cross my fingers for
Wow,
that.
yeah.
And then you guys, I could, I'll name a handful of bands that I would love to see. Cavern Deep would be great.
Cavern Deep.
And we have tickets-ish this year. We'll see how
we have a hotel room.
We have a hotel room. We'll see how the summer plays out.
Tickets-ish.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, we've already got cities starting to put indoor mask mandates back in, and
really?
things go. Like everyone I know knows someone who's currently sick.
Yep.
So
it's the same over here at the moment.
Really?
But let's say most people are vaccinated, so it's not as scary as it used to be.
Same where we live.
Yeah.
Not the rest of not all of the country, but where we live, it's like a little mini pocket of sanity.
99% vaccinated.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Awesome. Should we dig into some music?
Hell yeah. All right, well, I'm gonna pull up Bandcamp.
All right. Pull up Bandcamp. We've got some great submissions.
You're not supposed to know that yet.
I shouldn't say they're great. I don't know if they're great.
In theory,
we have band submissions, which is
so.
A lot of
how
times,
does that work?
So we just anybody can submit a song to us to listen to. Sometimes it's the bands themselves who submit directly to us. Sometimes it's the promotional companies.
Yeah, the PR
companies that submit.
We favor the band direct.
We favor
submissions.
the bands.
So naturally.
Yeah, we want to really discover the underground, like the ones that are
going
unsigned.
DIY.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Except we keep getting these bands directly submitting that we're like, no, you're not. We've listened to you for a decade. You're
I know.
Like, what was the band in Scotland?
In Scotland?
Like OG Doom band. We'll
I don't know, but
we'll remember at some point.
Do you know Pinkish Black?
I don't.
You would like Pinkish Black.
Yeah. Okay.
Super good.
Keyboards and drums and distortion and
pretty much. Isn't it all synth and drums? But you can't tell.
You can't tell.
Because the synth, he has one synth that sounds like a bass. Pinkish Black. Yeah, they're great. But yeah, he had submitted, and we're like, well, we've been listening to you for years, so we cannot react to your songs, but would you like to come on as a guest?
I've seen you live.
Yeah, exactly.
More than once. So yeah. All right, so who do we have first?
Yes, let me pull up the thing. It is a band. This is a band submission. The band is called GRIHASTHA.
You're gonna have to spell that.
GRIH.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah.
Sorry, I shouldn't say that on Easter weekend.
Yeah, no, right. Easter weekend. Jesus.
ASTHA. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I'll share my screen so you'll be able to see this.
Yeah, thanks. Do I have to do anything?
No.
We're gonna listen for like a minute or so.
Brilliant.
And then we
great.
pause it. We sort of like talk about what drew us in, what we liked, what we maybe. If it wasn't for us, we usually we never like say, "Oh, that was horrible. Oh, I can't believe the drums sounded horrible." We're just like, not for me. I'm sure that other people like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
So GRIHASTHA. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing that correct.
This is like a.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. So the song is called "Awake."
I don't know what we're gonna get here. Shit. Oh, good. This could go down a Limp Bizkit
or Korn
direction real fast.
Yeah. What's coming? I'm quite Deftones-y.
All right, I'm in.
Okay, so that's a minute in. I'm totally in.
I'm in. It's like
I like it.
It's like on the edge of being something that I wouldn't like, but somehow they like.
It's when it made that vocal change.
Yeah.
At like a minute in, like at first I was like, oh, are we gonna get like some new
Yeah.
metal? Like,
Yeah.
we're gonna get some classic '90s new metal.
And it is a little bit, but
Yeah.
like the good
Love
parts
it.
of it, I think there's goodness in that. People loved it for a
I was
reason.
getting like Deftone riff kind of vibes from that.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
But
I like
I
it.
really like that
All right.
vocal delivery. I like the way he sings.
Let's listen to more of that.
Okay, more of that. Should we scoot it forward a little bit or just
No,
start? Okay, we'll just start where we were at.
Yeah.
So evident how we're changing our own grave. Is this delirium or are we
I mean, that's just such a satisfying classic riff.
I like it.
I mean, that's like when we all discovered drop D tuning, and then you just start doing those riffs, those one finger riffs.
I still
This
do
is
that
really
now.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. I like that a lot.
I love
actually.
it. I think it's great.
Yeah, and it's like, I'll say this, the person in the picture is the band leader, I assume, but he also mixed and engineered and mixed the whole thing.
Oh,
It's probably hard for
yeah.
you to hear over Zoom, maybe not, but like it's like what would have gotten out of control, I think, is all in the production process, and he just tucked in all the things that could have been cheesy or silly. It sounds great.
Here, because that's the true test of sort of mastering is that across all sort of listening devices that you can hear every element.
It'll still sound
I've
good.
got my secret headphones in and I could hear every part of it. It sounded great.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I really like this.
So this looks like a fairly recent event. He's got essentially 4 singles that go back to just like December of 2021. There's so much new music. We've discovered so much stuff that people just created by themselves.
Lockdown,
tons of lockdown projects, and some of them are really impressive.
All the emotion flowing out,
Yep.
Exactly. I do want to actually see if I can find this. So he originally wrote, because he listened to the Mike Scheid episode.
Oh, okay.
And then said, how do I submitted music, and then he wasn't on Bandcamp. So this is kind of cool because he said, really cool convo you guys had with Mike. I originally did not have Bandcamp for the band, but since you guys mentioned that thing about online archive for years to come about a scene, I thought I should put my music on Bandcamp.
Yes, you should. Yeah. I mean, that's what Bandcamp is becoming, is this like a musical archive, because people are just uploading whatever. Wow.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
I really like that. That's a good way to start.
Yeah, I want to hear one of the other tracks, because I want to see what kind of variety he's working with.
Okay.
So
while we're deciding, what do you listen for? Like when you discover new music, what is it that draws you in, and what is it that maybe makes you stop listening?
Hit the stop button.
I can't go anymore.
So I think I'd say there's 2 things for me personally. Is one is I like to hear something that I've never kind of heard before, which could be a genre or just something completely mad, completely different. Mm-hmm. Another one is I don't know if this is too much of my musical school training. It's just sticking its head out here, but like dissonant notes, different notes that break away from your standard chord progressions, like 2, 3, 5s or something like that. Like
I can see why you like Neil Young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
Just like
I'll put you in a room with my guitar player, with Carl, because he doesn't know how to to create a chord that doesn't have like two notes that really don't belong, but somehow they work.
It's always like I'm rebelling, you know.
Oh, totally. Well, like as a bass player, it's like I need to know what the root is, and then I need to like work around the accents. But I'm like looking at his hand, going, "What the fuck are you doing?" I don't know which one to pick out, and it's always the weirdest note that pops out. So
bass is a perfect example of that, of working with that, isn't it? It's like pick your root note, and then it's like, okay, now I've got to find some new notes. Yeah, to go around that.
Well, and that's why I always loved Melvin's, right? Was that like
love Melvin's.
Buzz does such a brilliant job of just like making something pretty and then just adding a touch of ugly and then getting like really ugly, and that's usually just about dissonance. It's about notes that don't go together.
I think I'm looking for dissonance.
Yeah,
exactly. Makes you feel like a bit like removed. It's like you're not as comfortable in the chord or the music kind of thing, you know.
Yeah.
But
and
works.
when you come out of it and resolve something, then it's like so satisfying, because you've been challenged with this thing where there's all this tension, and then it's just like, yeah.
So what should we listen to?
So I was gonna do Cooler Than Me,
but that's a cover.
Oh yeah, don't do that then.
That's a cover.
Do the red one then.
The red one says that this is an energetic hype track to make you want to move.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Yeah, let's see.
Let's get it. I mean, it's. $1965. Excuse me. It's Saturday morning, sir.
It's fine over here.
So this is clearly the first one. It looks like maybe they programmed the drums on that one, but yeah, this is an interesting project, and
it is a really interesting project.
Whatever this final form is on Awake with the full band, it sounds really great. So
yeah, I must say I preferred
the first
track, not to take away from the second track. By the way, but if that was the first track, I think the direction of
you'd be like,
the second track would be
skip. Yeah, like if it was like someone handed me the CD and that came on first, I'd play it and then I'd hit skip, and then if I got to that next one that we listened to, I'd go, all right, okay, well, I'm in. I'll listen to this.
Yeah, exactly. But I'll say that without having heard the full song. So
for sure,
exactly.
Well, We stopped disclaimering, but we should always disclaimer and say, look, people are writing full songs, especially when we get a 9-minute track and we listen to a minute of it. We're just like getting a flavor.
And it's like we didn't get to that bit in the middle where it's like
and there have been cases where people said that, and then we'll tack the full song on to the next episode just as like a bonus track.
Yeah, that's nice.
You stopped it before the good part.
Yeah, I mean, really, this is all about promoting underground music and not tearing it down. So oh, we have a freeze up.
Uh-oh.
She's back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did notice. Was it mine?
Yeah, I think it was you.
I better tell the boys to not use the internet.
Yeah, get off the internet.
You guys have nice fast internet in Cardiff?
Yeah. It should be top of the range apparently.
Nice.
Doesn't seem like it.
Oh no, I'm scared. What's this one?
The band is called Abstracted.
Okay.
And it looks like it is Brazilian.
Okay.
Extreme progressive metal.
All right.
Oh, okay, cool. All right.
Extreme progressive metal. Interesting. All right.
So that means a lot of growling and a lot of notes and a lot of distortion.
A lot of growling and a lot of notes. Is that okay? So the extreme is the growling, the progressive is the notes.
Yeah. All right. So it's this Atma Conflux.
Yes. Yes,
right.
And I don't even think it's. Oh no, it just came out yesterday. Okay, so this was just released yesterday. And the song is called "Between Samsara and Samadhi." All right,
let's hear it. It also means he's probably playing a fretless bass.
Yeah.
All the progressive death metal bands. It sounds like it, actually.
Sure.
Same vocalist or two?
There's a few people.
Yeah. Uh-oh, she froze again.
Oh, she's coming back. Jessica, sing the Jessica song.
I guess we'll see how much she heard.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't looking at the screen. Oh, there you are. We hear you. Ah.
There we go.
Oh, guys,
how much of that did you hear?
Sorry.
Oh no, it's okay.
I heard it all.
Okay, good.
Okay, good.
I just felt like I was reading. I might just go check that they've turned.
Oh yeah, go for it. We'll start
things off. Do you mind?
No,
Yeah,
not at all. We'll
not
start
at all.
talking
Be a
about this.
second.
Not at all.
Okay, cool.
So
I like that, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Good.
Yeah, it was really good. It's not like if I'm gonna do regular listening of like the tech death, I like it to be messier, uglier, dirtier.
Yeah,
that's super clean. The drum, all the tones and the, they're probably using amp modelers and not like that's not loud amps in a room. That's
right.
So
I think this is what we're gonna get a lot of next weekend.
Oh, you think so? Not well from the list I saw. Some of it's definitely down that path.
The tech, yeah, it's like tech death.
But that's, I don't know. It was really good, but it's just like I want to hear Necrot or something. I want it to be a little bit filthier.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't dislike it. It's not really my thing.
No,
I don't. That's not something I just put on to listen to throughout the day.
I never noticed.
So,
do a John 5 marathon.
Do a John 5 marathon. An abstracted marathon.
You kick them off the internet.
Internet things around. I was like, sorry to be a party pooper, but can you sit here in silence?
Are they playing video games?
Yeah.
No, they're just like they're listening to got an OK Google thing. So I don't know. Oh, I said OK Google. Now this is
no, it turned on.
No. Oh,
okay, Cancel. Yeah, so I was saying, I don't know. Could you hear while you were gone? Did you have your?
I did. I
okay,
did
good.
hear. I did.
So
hear,
I'll just let you.
I liked it. It's it's instrumentally incredible, drumming wise, vocally, guitar. I think it's great. Really
is this something you ever listen to? Like, is this something you'd ever just put on and listen to throughout the day?
Yeah. Personally now maybe just because of the sort of musical sort of journey that I'm on. Yeah. Wouldn't probably put something like that on now, but no doubt we'll probably do a big loop background to that kind of music one day. Soon. Yeah. Kind of go through like sort of worm my way through genres.
We'll talk about that at the very end. When we talk about what you're listening to right now. All right, should we?
Liked it.
You have any records to show off?
I mean, I have one.
Yeah. Which one?
Actually, 4.
Okay. What
Okay.
do you got?
The merch table.
The merch table.
Do you?
Are you a record buyer? Are you a collector?
I am.
Oh boy.
Can I see your screen?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
We're still screen sharing.
We're still screen sharing. Oops.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thanks for.
This is a
like, yeah,
professional.
that's great. It's like tiny.
Yeah.
We have a producer now. Yay.
Yeah, exactly.
Would you like to come on full time?
Yeah.
Hey, dum, we can't see anything.
We need another. Yeah. So what have you bought any records lately? Merch? Anything?
Yeah. My most recent vinyl purchase, which I actually have right here to show you.
Oh, nice.
All right, let's see it.
Someone called John Hopkins, which is an electronic artist. But the album is called Music for Psychedelic Therapy.
Huh.
John, yeah, I know all that comes up is the university. Music, psychedelic therapy.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
Music, psychedelic therapy.
Seems like my... Yeah, I don't know if why am I...
All right.
Maybe I'll move closer to the router.
That sounds...
help?
That can help, yeah. Or if you have a cable to plug into it, that can also help.
Okay, I'm
All
going.
right, well, I'll go first then, because
Okay.
I have a birthday gift for you.
I think
really?
so, yeah.
Ooh.
Which is the new Jack White record.
Oh, nice.
Which is actually really great.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic record,
thank you.
and that's your copy.
Thank you. I have heard a lot of this, and it's very eclectic.
It is.
I love it.
Off the walls. Some rapping.
Yeah.
There's some so his current live band is incredible, especially the drummer. Daru Jones is this amazing R&B and soul and funk drummer.
Yeah.
Plays his drums, if you've never seen, he plays his drums all crazy. Like his snares like over here and flip this direction. His toms like face a completely different direction. His drum setup is unlike anything I've ever seen anybody else play, but he's brilliant. And that he just went off on that record and just went, I'm going to try everything. Experimented like crazy, collaborated with a bunch of people, and it came out really good.
That's awesome.
I'm a huge fan.
I'm by the internet now, so hopefully
there we go.
That'll make it a bit better.
Seems like you're working great. Awesome.
Yeah.
So you had John Hopkins?
Yeah.
Yes,
I'm gonna pull it up.
Yeah, music for psychedelic therapy. I mean, it is what it says on the tin. Sleep music, you know.
Oh, nice.
Or if there's any kind of other things that take you to any kind of dental state.
Oh, are you holding it right now? The cover is really cool.
It's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've left it in the.
Oh, that's fine.
We can. No, don't worry.
I'll pull it up.
Yeah,
I'll pull it up.
That is a really
cool. Yeah,
that's
do
crazy.
A screen share.
Yeah, I'll share it.
It's lovely, isn't it?
John Hopkins.
Really nice.
And there's a nice Pitchfork article about it. 7.4.
It kind of looks like one of those watercolors where you get the paper really, really wet, and then you kind of drip watercolors onto it.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So is it actually stuff that you listen to during psychedelic therapy? Is that kind of the intention?
I think that's the idea. I mean, it's not like songs. You know, it is as it says on the tin. It's like if you did, you know, experiment those kinds of things.
Yes.
You know, it's like
for fans of mushrooms.
Oh, and I love.
You know, I mean, they do grow everywhere over here. Just you know.
Oh really?
Oh wow.
Not hard to find.
Not
impressive.
Yeah, I always have that fear. I'm sure people recognize them, but I always have that fear of like.
Do you really know?
Is that? I don't know my mushrooms well enough.
Yeah,
I feel like I could die.
Yeah, it took me a little while to spot the right ones.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's just like someone's holding your hand.
That's awesome.
That. Yeah.
Oh, that's super
really,
cool.
really beautiful.
That's super cool.
I recommend it. You know, whatever kind of music you're into, you know, yeah, just like I say, like sleep music or something.
Just something good to like put on in the background.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, to unwind.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I just saw on the news that Vancouver, BC.
Yeah.
The mushroom shops just opened up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So we have
is it like legalized?
in Vancouver, yeah, and then decriminalized around here, and I think we're headed towards shops too in the Bay Area somewhere, and I think already in Denver. Yeah, right.
Because we don't have that here.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
No.
I mean, they're like you go, just before the winter frost, you go, up to the fields.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, you gotta hide.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I have a friend that does he does mushroom therapy, and but it's all like packaged. It's like branded chocolate bars and like all. It's like but I don't know where I should ask him where he gets it, because I don't know where you go out and just buy yourself like something that looks like a Hershey's but it's full of mushrooms. It's kind of funny.
Don't eat that by accident.
Yeah, exactly. Did you have anything else?
Yeah, it's my a recent purchase actually was gear-wise was this
pedal time.
Motor Harmonics triangle Big Muff.
Oh, cool.
Also known as a pie, just known the triangles because of the formation knob. But it's a remake, and I think it was the same. It's like the same sound as Billy Corgan used on.
It's the Yes, the Siamese Dream pedal.
Siamese Dream Big Muff.
So if you want to go down a Big Muff rabbit hole, the last episode with Andy Patterson, he told a heartbreaking story about getting a Russian muff stolen out of his car, like a legendary Russian muff that was who owned it?
Wasn't it?
It was somebody.
Wasn't it like Les Claypool or something?
No. It
was.
I don't
know.
We'll have to go back. We don't. We do these and then we remember like.
We don't
tidbits.
remember anything from a week ago.
Where was that? Over in the States, was it?
Yeah.
And it got robbed.
Yeah. Someone threw it in the trash because it broke during a show, and then Andy grabbed it and opened it up, and it said who owned it, and then it was also just like the light was burned out was the only problem with it, and he kept it. And we looked up the exact model that he had on Reverb, and they're selling for $2,000, $3,000. Yeah, it's like
oh my God.
There's the green, one of the big green ones that's all like destroyed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
JD didn't even know this was a thing like that not all Big Muffs are the same, and that you could like have a super special one that sounds different or better.
Super special muff. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can understand. It took me a while to suss them out,
Yeah.
It's basically just, the electronics of it is just to like mess up everything, isn't it? It's just like chaos.
Are you a gear junkie, like a pedal junkie?
Not like, I wouldn't go as far as to say I could tell you absolutely everything about everything. My sort of outlook and attitude to sort of music and equipment has been it needs to kind of work now. It needs to go on and off. It makes a sound, and I like it. I just like, this is why I've not really sort of delved into like synthesizers. Like, I've got a bit of basic understanding of it, and I'm happy with that, and that's as far as I'm going to go. I just don't have the patience for it. It needs to make a noise like now.
Yeah. Oh, I'm the same.
So I could turn that, and then that works, kind of thing.
I don't know how they work at all, and I don't know. Like, I'm always asking dumb questions about my gear and embarrassing myself. I just it has to work, and I like to use it. But I did find the perfect synth, because I love synth so much. I bought a Moog Sub 25. So it's like, it's everything's on the panel, and you have all these presets that you can download from your computer, so you can just use the presets. You find the ones that you like. Then if you want, you can start tweaking the knobs. But if you just press the preset button again, it just resets everything back to the preset sound.
Yeah.
So if you get too far off, you just go, I'm going to reset back to the preset.
So it's user friendly.
Very much so. And it's monophonic. So it's like it's for a bass player, right? It's one note at a time. I'm not playing chords, or I can't work a piano. So yeah, I was excited to find that because I love synth, but I'm not going to get into figuring out modular synth and building something. Yeah, it's not for me.
Go down the mat rabbit hole.
No way. No way.
Yeah, to me, a pedal junkie is someone who has and uses a lot of pedals, not someone who has any idea of how they
understanding.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Do you have more?
I do.
You do?
Yeah.
Let's see what
Okay.
Do you have more? Or?
No, honestly, that was kind of like my two most exciting recent purchases.
Nice, that's awesome. That's great.
So we had Mike on, and he was talking very excitedly about this remix of Atma by Yob.
I really like that album cover.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is a fantastic, older Yob record that
That's
they did
one of my favorites.
They did a full remix of. So it's going to sound a lot,
Yeah.
from what Mike was saying, quite a bit different from the original.
Well, when they put it up on Spotify, they put it up as two albums in one, so you can listen to each of the different mixes.
You can go back and forth. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I bought a bunch of stuff
That's
from Relapse, basically. I love Torch, and this is Admission, which is the last Torch record. Do you listen to Torch? Have you?
No, I must say.
I feel like you would. I feel like you would like this. This is if a doom band made a new wave record in 1984. That's what that sounds like. Not kidding at all.
Doom band made a new wave
That's
record. Like that.
on the listening list for sure. Yeah.
And I mean, when this came out, this was like heading right into the pandemic. But like they got to play on like Kimmel or Fallon or like one of the big late night. One of the big late night shows. Did they do it again recently?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So someone there likes them.
Yes.
And then this is, for me, top 5 records of all time. This is the Red Album by Baroness. It's
Love that.
their first full studio record, and I was
What
telling
a
you.
gorgeous vinyl that is.
Well, and John, the guitar player and singer, does all the art too. So it's like talk about having all the gifts and life not being fair.
Amazing.
I know.
Isaac is
such
be good at one thing,
Yeah, save some for the rest of us.
Save some for the rest of us.
And I put it on and I blasted this record nonstop when it first came out. And my wife doesn't listen to a ton of music, but I threw that on the record player yesterday, and she's like, "Man, that band is just better than other bands.
Better than most."
I don't know why I know all these songs, but I do." And I was like, because I played it nonstop for like probably 2 years once it came out.
Yeah.
I didn't own it on vinyl, so
that's awesome.
It's a good record.
Yeah. Well, I have one record to share.
All right, let's see it.
And this is not the
autographed
one.
I know what this
is. But I had to share this because I picked
shiny.
It up. It's a box set of the most recent. Everybody knows I'm a Tool geek, so this is Fear Inoculum on vinyl. So it's like this whole book that has all of these like really cool graphics.
Oh, I love that.
And it's got like. Oh yeah, maybe you can help. It's got these cool drawings of the band, even.
Wow.
Like all of these, yeah. And then each of the records has
out.
It's got 2 songs on each record. So
how many
records songs
are
on
in there?
Side. There's 4 records, and I don't know if you can see it, but there's sort of. Oh yeah, you can kind of see it.
Yeah.
So like the back side of each record just has a different design that's been screened onto the record.
That is incredible.
So
what an amazing thing to own. That is really special.
That was
wow.
I think this is going to be one of those parts of my collection that's just like I'm so proud of. I had to pop for it.
Yeah.
Prettiest things.
I mean, it's expensive, but I know we've put out records. I know the kind of work and the cost that goes into putting together a package like that, and I actually think their price isn't crazy.
I mean, this is like a hardback book.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really special. That.
Yeah, I mean, we have people paying $300 for a Wax Mage record that just came out 2 weeks ago. That's like in a flimsy jacket, and that's a collector's piece.
And and it's funny because when you do collect records, and now I've like told my family, I'm like, if something happens to me, do not donate these.
Yeah,
to Goodwill. Like,
no.
You need to sell all of them.
or find someone you know. Who,
or give them to somebody who will appreciate them.
Even though our collection has like 50% overlap.
It's the same thing. Yeah, exactly.
No, I'm the same way, but I've been buying I'm a huge Rush fan, and so I've been buying they do 40th anniversary re-releases, and they do these big box sets. So they're just working through the discography, and as each record hits the 40-year mark, they do a really cool package for it. So I've been
awesome. Yeah,
I've been picking up those.
That's awesome.
I like Tool, but I'm perfectly happy to listen to them on Spotify.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or wherever.
I'm one of those. I got hooked in high school.
Yeah. Oh no, I mean,
been hooked ever since.
I was a junkie.
Yeah. Oh man. To me, they have not put out a bad album. Yeah.
Yes, for Tool.
Yeah. Big fan over here.
All right.
Should we listen to a couple more songs? You got time for a couple more songs?
Yeah, definitely. I'd love to. I'm loving it.
Awesome.
All right.
So this next one is a band called NYOS, NYOS.
Okay, that's easy to spell.
Maybe it's NYOS.
NYOS.
I don't know. They're Finnish. I think it's just two of them. It says they're a noise rock duo.
All right.
So I guess we'll see what we're gonna get.
Is this Celebration?
It's the album with all the feathers.
With the feathers.
Yeah. And the song is called First Take. So maybe they just sat down in the studio.
I mean,
push record.
I'll go ahead and take them literally.
I'm not bragging or anything, but
but first take.
I've got to say.
All right,
let's hear it.
All right, first take.
Amazing.
Wow. I'm in immediately.
Yeah.
Love it.
So different. What is this? It's coming. Wow.
There's so much going on.
That is right up my street.
How is that two people?
Absolutely love that.
Oh,
like it's like got everything that I love in the influences: Battle, Sonic Youth, and as from afar, I was like, I'm in.
You're like, oh yeah, I hear that. Yep.
Combining the danceable grooves of Battles with Sonic Youth.
Yeah, nice.
I mean, somebody
really
needed
good.
to do that.
It looks like they told us
Yeah.
Yeah, they.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, I gotta hear more of that.
Love that.
More of that?
Yeah, hit play.
For sure.
That's so cool.
So somebody's a pedal
like
junkie.
that.
Somebody's a gear junkie.
Is that how they were getting that sound? That goes kind of, because it kind of just sounded like one note going whoa.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, that's just modulation.
Yeah.
It's probably about,
Amazing.
it sounds really analog, so I don't picture like a rack and a bunch of programming. Could be, I don't know, but more likely he's got, you know, a pedal board like that wide, like Cash from.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So in order to get that much different sound out of a guitar, maybe it's a baritone, I don't know.
Yeah.
You just like, he's probably splitting signals and running through loopers and doing all kinds of stuff. That guy is like carrying a heavy load, and then the drummer is just like blowing my mind.
Yeah.
Love
awesome.
that. Absolutely love that.
Let's hear a little bit of another track.
Should we listen to another track?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cloudberry.
Cloudberry.
I love battles.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Battles.
it's right up my street. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Cloudberry.
Yes.
Let's hear what it sounds like when they take more than one take.
Tell me
Two
if that was,
takes.
Yeah, 2 takes.
that was their warm up in the studio, they could go to hell. So that's probably like a guitar with all the direct signal pulled out and only just like a reverb, like the reverb.
Yeah,
signal.
like the wet signal.
Yeah, it's
of
wet only, so you don't hear the
reverb,
picking
yeah.
or any of it. You just hear the. I just love the contrast between the drums and the.
Mm-hmm.
He's playing in a different band, but it but it totally works. I know what we're listening to tonight when we make pizza.
I'm buying this album.
That's brilliant. Love it.
Yeah.
Is it all instrumental? Do you know if there's any vocals?
It must be all instrumental. It doesn't really say anywhere. I don't know. It does say, though, that the guitarist actually, even though they say they're a Finnish band, he moved from Leeds. So he's actually British. So he moved from Leeds to Finland. And then, man, the drummer's name, Tuomas Kanulinen?
Finnish is insane language.
This is great.
Oh, this is great. I'm just sort of stunned right now.
This is definitely going on the to listen list for me.
Yeah.
I sort of feel like we should just stop there.
I know. I'm like, I don't know if we want to do another one. Should we do another one?
But no. But yeah, we should. They submitted. So did these guys submit directly, or was this a PR submission? Do you know?
No, I'd have to.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I love their
amazing.
I love their like essentially Finnish band photo, but also not. So it's usually somebody in corpse paint in the snow in the snowy forest.
Corpse paint in the snowy forest.
I managed to avoid the corpse paint in my Zoom career, but I always ended up in the woods.
Oh, it would be fun to do once. I've never done it, but it is entertaining. It's highly entertaining. That's why I love 2 Minutes to Late Night. I love his irreverence with the whole like poking fun at the whole thing, but also clearly loving it.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Oh, Pete, my brother-in-law Pete could do an amazing job of painting us up.
My youngest did.
Oh yeah,
paint the other night.
That's right.
Really?
It's hilarious. She got a little crazy with the black makeup.
Yeah.
Have either of you watched the Metal Lords yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is
Metal Lords out over
there? It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix. Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of like a.
Because it's different, like US and UK Netflix.
Yeah.
I think they have different things, don't they? So I'll have a look.
Yeah.
It doesn't ring a bell. Like,
it's fun.
But,
so it's entertaining.
It's kind of like a School of Rock, like coming of age, but about 3 kids who get together to form a metal band.
Yeah.
It's sort of like there's only one of them that's really into metal, and
But they can't find a bass player.
They can't find a bass player.
So they find a cellist.
Yeah.
Sort of.
I mean, story of my life. Bass player, so.
Yep. One guy's like, but she's really good. The other guy's like, but it's not a bass.
Yeah. When's the release for you guys?
Are you looking it up? UK release of Metal Lords.
And it might be one where it's not showing up in the feed, but it's if you search for it, you might be able to find it.
I do watch Netflix, but it doesn't ring a bell, so I wonder if it's on there or not.
No, it looks like it came out on the 8th in the UK. So it was produced by the guy.
Okay.
It's produced by the guys who made Game of Thrones. And then Tom Morello curated the soundtrack and wrote a bunch of the music. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Oh, great.
Oh, and it appears in it too.
I've got loads to do now.
I know. We're just giving you a to-do list.
Exactly.
Loads of new music and a whole series.
Luckily, it's just a movie.
Yes.
Oh, it's a movie, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's
it's like 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe it's 2 hours.
Tonight sorted.
So NYOS was not they did not directly submit.
Pelagic.
It came from Chris. They're on Pelagic, which is not a surprise.
Yes. Pelagic submits a lot of music to us, and they're a real interesting label.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, much deserved. It's a very good sound. Really like that.
Yes.
So good. So good.
All right. So what's the last one?
So the last one.
Let's do it.
Is a band called Vexier. Vexier. And I think this album just came out in March.
Oh, there's an album called Vexier.
Oh, sorry. That's the album is Vexier. The band is ELR.
ELR.
There
okay.
we go. That's the one.
This looks interesting. You'll see in a moment.
Just initials ELR.
Yep. It's like E-L-R.
I have to know what that is you're drinking. It looks really refreshing and delicious.
Wondering if it's going to come up. Well, obviously, because it's now 8:30 in the evening, this is orange gin. And do you know what Vimto is?
No.
Vimto?
Vimto. It's like a fizzy drink, basically. It's just like a passion fruit flavored fizzy drink.
So like a fizzy gin and tonic.
Yeah, it's I've been delivered it whilst I've been on this
nice
podcast.
That is fantastic.
I'm just taking it. Yeah. The guys here, we're doing some jamming today.
Yeah, we'll join you in a few hours.
Yes, in a few hours.
It's still
see if we can find some Vimto.
Yeah, we're on.
It's it's 5 o'clock somewhere. That's what it comes down.
For sure.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, we're on a bit of a weird schedule today because two of our kids just were on a long trip and came home in the middle of the night last night, so they're all.
Oh really? They must be knackered.
Yes, my daughter. They ran hard for a week in Washington D.C. and Philadelphia on a school trip, and I don't think I'll see her until 2 or 3 o'clock this afternoon. So,
exactly.
Oh,
I was up late too, which is why I barely made it here.
Yeah.
All right, so let's hear this.
Okay, so the song is called Seeds that we're gonna listen to.
I'm intrigued.
Yes, indeed. Switzerland. Okay. More doom gaze.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Dang, this is a good day.
This was a good day.
Prophecy Band.
gonna get singing, we're gonna get singing, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I like it so far.
No,
nice.
this is
like
so far, I'm totally pulled in.
I'm getting like even like Mammoth lead vibes, you know.
Yeah, it sounds like someone I know.
Yeah.
Well, and that like the bass line, the trope is like not new. You know that there's a million songs you could probably overlay that, and it's so similar, but it's because it's
highly
like,
effective.
It's effective. It's
exactly.
like fucking.
Works.
They're trying to get us tranced out.
Mm-hmm.
That's
It's a completely entrancing. That kind of just like.
Yep.
Well, and I think it's maybe because we have this weird Western association with Eastern music in these like close intervals. So these riffs that are just like half step riffs, or just like it's as close as we can get without microtonal instruments to like Eastern sounding music.
Yeah, because they have like quarter notes and stuff, don't they? And like, you know, we've halved that. It's also that's a really interesting observation. Actually, I've never thought about it like that, because like our association with sort of like drones too will come from like sitar based music.
Yeah,
and,
those crazy
as
drone
Westerners,
instruments.
We associate drone with like trance inducing kind of music.
Yeah, they have those stringed instruments. Actually. They have like a wheel that you can just like turn, and they continuously make the strings vibrate, so it like kind of drones out. And then the little bend, so if you listen
hurdy-gurdy or something.
Yeah, you listen to the bass note, and he's doing the half note, and then they do that little quarter note bend, and that like simulates a semitone.
Interesting.
Like because you can bend into the semitone, you have the freedom to do that. You just can't fret it. So it's like really, I mean, it's done well. It's half of King Buffalo's catalog. Yeah, like a simple bass riff like that, and then just like iterate over it.
I love it. All right, let's listen to more.
Exactly. If it ain't broke.
That's it. At the very end. Yeah, the tones are different, but this could be a King Buffalo song.
Yeah.
The whole approach is so similar. Taking their time to get started. This is just that. Is this the album opener?
It is.
Yeah.
No, it's
not.
It
was just released.
Yeah, it was just released. March. It was. No, this is the middle song.
All right, so scoot it and see if there's.
Yeah, let's see if there's some vocals in there somewhere.
In March of this year.
Yeah.
All right.
Just like really soft in the background. Yeah, a little Mammothy, huh?
Yeah, but it's good. I like it though. I like it.
I like it a lot.
I really do like it. Mammoth we didn't invent.
No.
So,
I like it because the vocals sort of just they're like using them as another instrument almost.
I wonder if there's songs that are more vocal forward, if that's what everything sounds like. But they really are having a go at like matching those bends, because as the pattern continued to repeat, they changed where they were bending and where they were matching, and they would stop it and start it. I mean, it'd be like competent, all of you together, to like hit the same note, the same bend. It wouldn't necessarily sound terrible, but if you weren't exactly the same, but to bet the whole riff on, we're all going to do this thing that's inexact at the same time together.
Yeah.
Do you know guys know Slomatics?
Yes, sorry.
It says,
So Slomatics is who submitted music to us, and I said, no, you could.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
You can't submit to us. We know who you are. Good that came up.
Yes, I
mean,
I got the vocally a bit of that vibe here too.
Yeah, Slomatics, a little Dom Crafty.
Yeah, we still need to schedule them.
Yeah. Slomatics?
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, they're great guys.
Yeah.
Honestly, they're just like such nice people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they Scotland or are they Northern England?
They're Irish.
They're Irish. That's right. They're Irish. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, they're lovely.
You all look the same to me. Oh, I don't know if that's okay to say.
I'm so offended. That's good. I did a because Paul, the guitarist Mammoth Swede,
right.
he's still in rehabilitation at the moment. It's like has to learn sort of everything again, really. But I made a compilation video of all of his friends, and because he loves somatics, and we did like a split record with them.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and they sent me some videos of them, and they were just so funny. It was just hilarious. They're just like such top guys.
Oh, that's great.
They really just like made like a little skit out of it. It was just really good. Just what you needed, a bit of humor in that situation.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they're top guys. Yeah.
Nice.
Well, that was really good.
You want to stop sharing?
Oh yeah,
I love that.
Now.
Yeah, that was really good. We had some really good submissions today.
Yeah, I mean,
right.
I don't know if you're familiar with Prophecy, but they're a really interesting label out of Germany.
Okay.
That absorbed. They bought Magnetic Eye Records, which was a label in New York. That,
I do
put
know
out a
of
bunch
Magnetic Eye. Yeah.
Put out a bunch of. They do those compilations. The Redux records, the Alice in Chains and AC/DC, and a bunch of our friends are on that label, and then Prophecy bought them. But But Jad Schickler, who was like doing the A&R side of Magnetic Eye, is still he's still part of it. So cool label. You're the Cobra. That's a whole bunch of friends.
Magnetic Eye.
Well, You're the Cobra's Prophecy.
Oh,
Prophecy proper
gotcha.
now, but yeah.
Gotcha. Yes.
Awesome.
Nice.
I've got loads of things to add to my list now.
Yeah,
brilliant.
I know, exactly.
Love it.
So perfect segue. What are you listening to right now? Like, if people were going to leave and listen to one thing after this, what would you recommend?
Ooh, one thing. Okay, so well, might be a bit different. Rather than a band, I'm listening to. Have you heard of NTS Radio? Which is
Radio?
NTS Radio. It started in Hackney in London, and they broadcast around the world now. It's an internet radio station, but it's for absolute music lovers, because it's got every single genre, every program. It's just like, if you really, really want to just sort of not know what you want to listen to, you just listen to that. It's just like got stuff that you can't find on Spotify, really, really niche stuff. So they've got like, so I basically just listen to NTS Radio all day, every day, and nice. Kind of like get little bands off that. But I suppose at the moment, band wise, I've definitely been listening to that music psychedelic therapy. Probably just coming out of lockdown, trying to come to terms with the world again.
Indeed. Oh, this is so cool. Yeah. So NTS Radio, I'm on Explore, and the first option you land on is by mood.
By mood?
Yeah, not so you can do by genre. Yeah, you can do by genre.
Always like live stations going on at the time. I think they've got an LA-based one, but they started in Hackney in London, and they've got loads of programs, and it's just like a donation-based station too. It's like for proper music lovers, and like
that's cool.
I highly recommend it. Yeah, to everyone.
It's just online.
Just online, yeah.
Yeah, I listened to a bit of Gimme Radio or like Gimme Metal,
like that.
which is sort of similar, but but I think this is organized a little bit differently. They have something called Infinite Mixtapes.
This is like you have no idea what genre is coming next. It's just like it's mad. It's got really good. Yeah, if you listen to the live one, they got like loads of sort of like sound art programs. Just really obscure electronic. Like just challenging. Sonically challenging things. It's just like perfect for inspiration as a musician, I think.
This is cool, and I'm definitely going to listen to this. There is an infinite mixtape just called Sweat, and it's just
Sweat.
You just decide what that means, and then Island Time. And field
it's like
recordings.
It's completely free, and you can optionally pay a donation. Like here's like I pay like £2 or £5, and then you can see this track list. But not everything is on Spotify. Even it's just really obscure stuff.
Huh. I'll be
really
listening
good.
to that 4 to the Floor mix.
Yeah.
I like that.
I listen all day, every day, from Bluetooth and just
That's great.
There you go.
Nice. Now we got something to dig into.
Now we have something to do. Favor returned.
Very cool. Very cool.
And then last question. This will be an interesting one.
Yeah. So depending on what you consider your hometown, like what is your all-time favorite hometown band?
That was like an interesting sort of question. I was just thinking about like my hometown, because obviously this being in Cardiff was quite new. But I'd say I'd dedicate sometimes like a couple of bands. So one is a band called Ghost Lawns.
Ghost Lawns?
One word.
Ghost Lawn.
Yeah. And they're like a live electronic band, live drums, live guitars, really different. I really absolutely love them. So they're Cardiff based.
I see them on Bandcamp.
That's them. I love them. It's almost like you can kind of get almost get battles, kind of that kind of nice. Route musically.
Yeah.
But like no like a sampling or anything. It's all live electronica, which is like kind of unusual sometimes these days. So it's really cool, and they like pull it off really well. And from Wrexham, one of my friends, Andy Hickey, he does this thing called Paper House. I don't know if it's even like searchable. It's kind of a musical collective. He does very transient, sort of like jammy kind of stuff, which is also kind of unusual nowadays, because everybody's kind of like gets very focused on like what kind of music they're going to do, or what they're going to achieve. But he kind of like under the Paper House umbrella, he just sort of like has musicians coming and going, and just like always creating something different. So I love stuff like that. I just love anything that's just a bit different and obscure.
Yeah,
basically. Yeah.
That's awesome. That sounds
I don't know if you find Paper House, but became really famous.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, heard it here first.
Paper House. So Wrexham, WREXHAM.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
Might just be like Facebook.
I love how when you look through the map in Wales, it's like Wrexham and then a town with a Welsh name that's like all L's and R's and
yeah,
is unpronounceable. Wow,
wait, is that what we were just talking about earlier? The guy, the Ketham?
Yes.
Ketham?
Yeah.
Is a Welsh name?
We watched the Great British Pottery Show around here. I don't know.
Oh, brilliant. I love it.
Best show ever.
It's the best. And
I've only just started.
Yeah. I think Keith is probably my favorite host of any show.
I feel like, I mean, I love him, but I feel like maybe some talk therapy would be good, so that like the trigger was a little bit less. Like,
so he doesn't cry all the time,
like every single time. But I'm the same way, so I totally get it.
That's so funny.
You could just see his.
That's
his
so funny
passion.
that you guys watch that.
It's the best.
It's great.
I love it.
Great,
So
yeah.
American reality TV is very like sharky and cutthroat and
it's competitive
and shitty and competitive. And so people discovered Great British Baking Show during the pandemic. I think we were already watching it, but it's just like all positive. It's just all happy, and the contestants all like cheer for each other, and we're just like, that's really weird.
That's cool.
Look at these. These people are competing, but they're being nice to each other.
They're helping one another.
It's like
there's no prize. They get a plate with their name on it.
The relentless like British politeness. You know, it's just like has to always like shine through.
Well, and I know that, you know, also under the surface, it's not really like that all the time. But but if I'm gonna sit down,
but we don't express our feelings that way. It's like, thank you, sorry.
Yeah, but if I'm gonna sit down and watch an hour of TV to get uplifted, I'm all in for for that. Oh, we have consumed many hours of British reality TV around here. Love Island. I think my kids watched every season like 4 times in the last 2 years.
That's what I can't do.
So it has a little bit of controversy over here.
Yeah,
really?
Oh, I'm sure.
A little bit. Yeah.
That's so funny.
But it's just, you know, we all have a picture of what people in you know, other parts of the world are like, and then it's interesting, you know, we grew up thinking, oh, English people are all like the posh English stereotype, and then you see these like trashy real world style, and you go, oh, okay, those people, they're there too. It's not just here.
And like the one thing that surprised me when I moved here was how regional the accents are.
Oh yeah.
In the UK, I mean, it's just like even in Wrexham, you can tell like what side of Wrexham someone's from their accent, and it's like, you know, even South Africa wasn't that different. You know.
Yeah.
It's like it's kind of quite broad everywhere, but here it's like it's so mad how it's happened.
So different.
I don't know why, or like.
The impenetrable one to me is Northern England, like Liverpool's its own thing, but like Birmingham and Newcastle. I had actually once had an employee that worked for me.
All very different accents, all of those.
Yeah, he was from Newcastle, different. And I was just like, I had to have him repeat every other sentence because I had no idea what he said.
New asshole.
New asshole. Oh man!
All right,
awesome. This has been a blast.
Absolutely fantastic,
guys!
Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes.
No, awesome.
Well,
do you guys have anything going on? Anything you want to like promote or talk about? Any tour coming up? Shows?
So as far as Mammoth Week goes, just to finish it off, it's a bit hanging in the air at the moment, you know. So Paul he's still in rehabilitation. You know, he's learning to talk and walk again. You know, he's had a big event in his life.
Yeah.
But you know, we're all positive about it. You know, it was going to be so much worse at one point. So everyone's just so grateful that it's like, you know, I feel he'll be walking and talking, you know, again. You know,
good.
He will.
Good. That's awesome.
So, yeah, it is. So like, as far as sort of future gigs and stuff goes for Mammoth Weed, very much hanging in the balance at the moment. I don't want to say like it's over or anything, because obviously if I had my way, I'd make sure it wasn't, you know. So fingers crossed one day we'll have the opportunity again, you know. But personally, I've got a new a project that I started in a lockdown called
right? Yes.
EYE.
Yes, I wanted to talk about that. I just totally forgot. Yeah.
I'll just shoehorn that in there. So that's sort of like I say, something that started in a lockdown, even before, you know, the sort of trauma with Mammoth weed. You know, I was like doing that. So it's very much in the lockdown bubble. But like the sort of genre we've gone for there is gothic electro doom.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
it's a lot mellower.
We're not. Yes, it is, but we haven't like. We're still kind of like shaping the sound a little bit. You know, like I say, that was in lockdown. Now that we're out of lockdown, like we've played a couple of gigs now. We've played in London and we played in Cardiff the other day. We've got another one coming up at the end of the month. Now that I'm out of lockdown, I want to go back to louder sounds.
Yeah.
You know, and like I say, that's all part of that sort of musical journey, listening to different stuff and like what you feel at the time. So I think there'll be sort of kind of that doomier kind of element will be sort of coming back to it a bit, I think.
Gotcha.
Now.
So are you singing in that band?
Yes. So I'll be singing and playing guitar.
So Yay. I feel like anything that is gothic that is happening, I feel like we need to connect with. So we met. We've listened to a band called Cavern Deep from Sweden. Fell in love with them. Very much have a gothic element, and then really kind of a super sparse doom vibe with Susie from Broom. And then she fell in love with them. Then she ended up doing vocals for a song on their second record. But then they have two singers. One's like a real bass and one's a baritone with these like croony goth voices. So I feel like I got to connect everybody because I would love to hear, because I got to hear Susie over them. I would love to hear those their voices are incredible. Like you just go like, where I've not heard music like this. It's like Peter Murphy, like playing in a doom band or something. Yeah. It's so bizarre and so cool.
Yeah.
So
who's
awesome.
Who else is in I? Is anybody from Mammoth Weed and I with you?
No, so this is new. So band. My boyfriend Gid, it was actually quite funny. So his name GID as he goes by. Is just as a side note, it was quite funny because I had like a spread in Metal Hammer UK over here in the magazine, and they did a little write up about I, but she thought I said Ed.
Ed.
Oh no! So he's Ed in the magazine.
Yeah, it's quite funny. He's like, I've been waiting all my life to be Metal Hammer, and it's like,
and then he was Ed. That's okay.
And then I wasn't, but Ed was.
He's like, who's Ed?
Yeah. Oh, sorry, kid.
You know. So yeah, and then Johnny, he's the synth master, so he does all synthesizers. So it's only a 3-piece. So me on guitar singing. Kid on like an electronic drum kit, so we've got like 808s and stuff like that, and Johnny on his synth. So yeah, kind of like an electronic, you know, like I was saying before, like bringing all of those loves. You know, it's been so hard for me to try and find like what it is that I want to do now musically, and I just feel like I found it now. It's like it's gonna be still kind of the Mammoth Weed vocally, you know, ethereal kind of thing. Heavy guitars, bit of like electronic drums, synths.
That's
great.
Fun. That's super fun.
So, yeah, we haven't got anything out yet, but we're working on it.
I watched the YouTube performance that you guys have uploaded.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah,
it was really good.
Cool.
Yeah, I really liked it.
I need to check that out.
I don't know how to pronounce what it was.
T-Paub. That's how you say it.
Gotcha. Yeah, it was T-Paub, but it's like this. I think this part is what maybe what that part says.
Oh, the Welsh part.
Yeah. Have you learned how to pronounce all the Welsh stuff, or do you know already?
Yeah, just about. You know, I'm learning. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
Learning. It's a hard. I was like, you know, Duolingo, even trying to learn, but but it's really nice to be back in the kind, you know, being born here and just like trying to sort of like relearn everything, and so I'm really open to it and have to be part of it.
Yeah, I mean, I remember
really nice.
in that mythology class, you know, we were reading everything translated, but all the people and place names were, you know, the original Welsh names. So we got like a pronunciation primer just so that when we're reading in our heads, we're sort of hearing the right sounds, but it's like it's still never stuck, and it's still wild.
Yeah, you have to do it phonetically
Yes.
initially, don't you? It's the only way, really, isn't it? Yeah.
Yep.
But it's a complicated language, I must say. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it was great to meet you.
Yeah, thank you for spending a couple hours with us.
Looking forward to more.
So much fun.
Oh, good.
Absolutely loved it.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
Tell your friends. Yeah. We're always we do all of this, the two of us. There's no other people involved from booking to production to everything else. So
I shall do.
To finding guests. So if you have anyone who you think would enjoy this, and it's usually
absolutely.
Not all musicians love music. I mean, we found that not everybody's like currently listening to new stuff, and it's always my favorite is when people are super engaged in listening to music now. Like Mike blew me away. Mike was like, he's like, I got this band and I love this band, and he like was like so enthusiastic, and that's
I
my
love
favorite.
that. But you guys give that off, because there was a part of me that because my sort of like doom journey has been quite recent, really. I've always been into like heavy music, but like, you know, as a part of me, it's like I don't want to like because there's so many different genres that I like. Yeah. It's like you're like, oh, I'm a fraud or something.
Yeah. No, God,
like,
we're fraud.
Just like you give off that, I like
we're not
that
purists.
You make that a accepting space,
That's awesome. Yeah, completely. Thank you.
Oh, there's a photo somewhere of JD and Jinkos, I'm sure, at a rave in Salt Lake City. And my first band wanted to be a cross between the Red Hot Chili Peppers and Bad Brains. So no, we're all over the place. Yeah,
all over the place.
No scenesters here allowed. And like you said, all of my favorite bands are, from a genre standpoint, kind of difficult to define. Yeah. They pull from everything. That's always my favorite music. Yeah. I'll listen to some straight genre music, but like I never listen to like Electric Wizard. Yeah, I just it's not my thing. Maybe 2 minutes
just
of it.
Just wants to be new and like
indeed.
challenging and just totally.
Well, I'm gonna go run some errands, and I'm gonna put on like a live Steve Lawler DJ set from Creamfields or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what words. I don't know any of.
This is how I feel when you're talking about pedals now.
Creamfields.
Those words.
Oh, we've all learned something today.
Fine.
Closing set from Space in Ibiza. Yeah.
I'm gonna go listen to the Brothers Johnson.
Well,
awesome.
Something you should listen to is Kelly Lee Owens.
Kelly Lee Owens
is a Welsh female electronic artist. If you're into that, very electronic. Nice. No, nothing to do with doom at all. But she's amazing. So just to suggest that.
I will.
For anyone out there.
Man, we have a to-do list.
I know we got.
I know I do too.
Love it.
All right. Well, great to meet you.
Guys.
Yes.
Someday, hopefully.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks for joining us.
Someday,
for sure.
Hopefully, we'll see one of your projects in person at some point.
Take care.
Yeah.
Give our
if
best
I's
to Paul.
doing something, I will do. Thank you so much.
And
if anything happens, sort of. And good, Ed.
And good.
And enjoy Metal Lords.
And Ed, yeah.
All right.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Take care. Have a great one. Good night.
Wow, she's rad.
That was awesome.
Fantastic.
And, man, great guest. We had great submissions today.
I know.
Sometimes these episodes just hit on everything.
Yes, they do.
They all do, right? No. No. It is sometimes we have an incredible guest and then we just get horrible submissions. But that was fun. That was awesome. I really hope, Mammoth Weed carries on.
Yes.
Because they're incredible. But yeah. Whew.
I was gonna say
like you're busy over there.
We've talked about it enough, so you got to play the sound of someone speaking Welsh, because we probably have a lot of people here who've never heard such a thing. So let me just.
All right, YouTube.
Here, I found this Ion Griffith.
Are you gonna make me spell it?
No. all I typed was speaking Welsh.
Ion Griffith's new girlfriend?
No, just.
Okay, no, I got this.
It's just a short video. So
speaking Welsh. Here we go. Okay, let's see what this. Oh wait, he's an actor.
Yeah, he's a. You know who he is, but yeah, let's.
Oh, okay.
Let's hear this bonkers language.
Ar y trydydd o Fawrth, fe fydd referendwm I benderfynu os yw Cymru'n heiddi llais cryfach. Dros y 10 mlynedd diwethaf, mae'r cynulliad wedi tyfu'n raddol mewn
So it's sort of English.
Ond mae'r system sydd anu ar hyn o bryd ar gyfer creu cyfreithiau newydd sy'n effeithio ar Gymru'n unig.
It is?
Yn un araf a chymeth.
It sounds like it sounds like it has elements of like Scandinavian languages in it. Like,
yep.
Yeah, definitely.
It does.
Wow.
Mae gormod o arian a gormod o amser yn cael ei wastraffu yn mynd drwy rwystrau di-angen. Enghraifft, mae wedi cymryd dros 3 blynedd I basio cyfraith newydd bydd yn cefnogi gofalwyr a rheini sy'n dioddef a phroblemau iechyd meddwl. 3 blynedd.
It's so crazy. So his name is Ian Griffith.
Yeah.
So the 2 D's together makes TH.
Interesting.
Yeah, so anytime, and then there's 2 L's, which is the Kethlin.
Yeah, I mean it's spelled Iowan.
Like one of the big Welsh folk heroes. I think he was a folk hero. His name Lludd, and his name is spelled Lludd.
Wow. Wow. All right, man. We're
just all over the place.
Out. Our first Welsh and South African guest.
Yes.
Damn, look at us, man. We're big time.
Big time. We're Mr. International.
Mr. International, baby.
Times 2. We got the hair for it. No, that's Mr. Worldwide.
Mr. Worldwide.
Yeah, no.
I like to say Mr. International, and then like
Pittsburgh. All right.
Yeah.
What do you got? Anything? Wrap up.
I don't have anything. I mean,
game
looking
over.
Forward to maybe finally meeting Moontooth this next weekend.
Wait. Oh yes.
Finally get to see John in person.
So we're supposed to go see Moontooth at Swanfest in Sacramento, and Swanfest is put on by Dance Gavin Dance, the guitar player Will Swan, and they just announced a couple days ago that their bass player passed away, like a week and a half out from the festival that they're putting on and headlining, and then the headlining tour that Moontooth is supposed to be going on with them.
Yeah.
So hopefully,
see what happens.
I mean, it's awful news.
Yeah.
It's awful for everyone in the band, and hopefully they figure out a way to get through it. And so we'll see. We may be at Swanfest.
Yeah.
They haven't said what's going to happen to the tour of Swanfest because they just said they honestly don't know yet. So it's going to come down to the wire.
Yeah, it sounds like it was pretty sudden.
Yeah, but if it does happen, then we finally get to meet John, which will be fun as hell. And so in all this discussion about did we or did we not order the Germ record, in a classic JD and Jeff moment, we both ordered 2 copies.
Oh yeah!
So we have 2 copies,
two extra copies
of the Germ record to give away. So we.
But did we order the same copies?
I don't know.
Ooh.
I don't know which version.
Maybe we should check the vinyl.
Yeah. No. But we figured another contest.
Yeah.
And this one's going to be YouTube only.
Yes.
And it's going to involve watching a video of JD and I sampling the newest version of the Bomb hot sauce.
Oh, I'm scared.
I'm scared too. But we're
Do
going to
you already have it?
No, I say we go out and get it after this.
Do it tonight?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Prepare your mouth hole.
I'll get out my mouth trumpet.
It's about
start
to
practicing.
It's about to get
That's
tested.
the only way. I got to test my mouth muscles. That's gonna hurt.
Yes.
Okay, we're on it though.
We're gonna do it.
All right, you got to watch our Bomb video.
Bomb 2.0.
Bomb 2.0.
Win a Germ record.
Leave a comment.
Yeah, we have 2 copies. Yeah.
Yep.
Comment on the video, and we'll randomly select 2 comments.
Awesome. All right. Well, you know what this has been?
Another episode of
Blynd Submyshynz,
and we are out.
Thanks for joining us for another week of Blynd Submyshynz. See episode description for the links to all artists discussed in this episode, and visit their sites to support them directly by buying their music and merch. Share links to the podcast with your friends, especially if they're in bands. Bands! If you want us to listen to your music on a future episode, please submit 1 song to blyndsub@gmail.com. That's blyndsub@gmail.com. Bandcamp's linked preferred, but not required. Find us on our social media at Blynd Submyshynz. Full video episodes are available on our YouTube. Remember, we go in blind so you don't have to. Blynd Submyshynz.
Blynd Submyshynz with Jeff and JD, Jeff and JD, JD and Jeff, JD and Jeff. Blynd Submyshynz with Jeff and JD, Jeff and JD, JD and Jeff, JD and Jeff.